Nearly 99% of people across the globe have been misled to this day. 8 years ago, Tesla officially broke ground on its Shanghai Gigafactory. Back then, global mainstream voices hailed Elon Musk's sweeping victory and celebrated America's technological supremacy over China. Commentators claimed China humbled itself to court foreign capital, offering unprecedented land, financial support, and regulatory exemptions solely to let Tesla seize its domestic automotive market. But today, this video will uncover one of the shrewdest industrial ploys of the 21st century. Tesla's establishment in China was never a one-sided win for the American automaker. From the very beginning, China laid out a meticulously calculated high-level strategy. It deliberately invited Tesla, the United States' flagship new energy enterprise, into its domestic market not simply to revitalize local competition, but to borrow its manufacturing experience, digest its industrial know-how, nurture homegrown rivals, and finally surpass the foreign invader entirely. To bring Tesla ashore, China rolled out unprecedented preferential terms: full cancellation of foreign ownership caps for auto manufacturing, vast industrial land in Lingang leased at an extremely low price, billions in low-interest bank loans, and streamlined administrative approvals that set a world record. The entire factory was constructed and put into production within just 1 year, a timeline unimaginable in most Western nations. American media outlets celebrated endlessly at the time, asserting Tesla would monopolize China's booming electric vehicle sector forever and stifle the development of all domestic Chinese EV brands. Musk himself was utterly confident, convinced he had secured access to the world's largest consumer market and would reap massive profits for decades to come. What Western observers completely overlooked was China's long-term industrial mindset. Every concession and favorable policy granted to Tesla was a carefully crafted lure. China never intended to beg foreign corporations to donate core technology. By opening its market wide, the country aimed to usher in a leading overseas competitor, build out its complete upstream and downstream supply chain via this foreign anchor enterprise, train tens of thousands of industrial technicians, and lay a solid foundation for the rise of its indigenous new energy vehicle industry. The fate of Tesla was sealed the moment the cooperation contract was signed. It was destined to serve as a stepping stone for China's EV revolution before being overtaken by local manufacturers. Many global viewers wonder, the United States once held absolute dominance in the early electric vehicle industry. Why did Washington and American capital allow Tesla to set up large-scale production bases in China, inadvertently empowering a future competitor? The answer lies in the inherent flaws of America's capital-driven system, flaws that China has expertly exploited over the past decade. American corporations prioritize quarterly profits and short-term stock market gains above all long-term national industrial interests. Back when Tesla was trapped in severe production bottlenecks and teetered on the brink of bankruptcy a decade ago, no Western country was willing to bear the costs of hosting its massive manufacturing plant. Only China stepped forward with full financial, land, and industrial support to rescue and scale up the struggling automaker. Blinded by enormous profit prospects in China's vast consumer market, Musk and American financial investors discarded all technological vigilance and complied fully with China's local industrial rules. An unwritten but rigid requirement was enforced for all foreign automakers operating in the country. To retain market access, companies must achieve extremely high domestic component localization rates and integrate deeply with China's local industrial chain. Within just a few years, over 95% of all parts installed in vehicles built at Tesla Shanghai Gigafactory were sourced from Chinese suppliers. This deep localization process amounted to the gradual, peaceful absorption of Tesla's core manufacturing capabilities. The automaker's battery packaging architecture, integrated casting production techniques, whole vehicle quality control standards, and complete supply chain management systems were fully exposed to China's comprehensive industrial ecosystem. The technological barriers the U.S. had spent years building for its electric vehicle sector were dismantled, studied, replicated, and upgraded by Chinese enterprises without any costly industrial espionage. The U.S. government remained complacent and underestimated China's industrial planning capacity throughout this period. U.S. policymakers naively believed brand premium and self-developed automotive software would permanently keep Tesla ahead. They failed to recognize that mature manufacturing capacity and a complete industrial cluster constitute the true backbone of the EV industry. By letting Tesla operate freely in China, the U.S. voluntarily surrendered its most competitive new energy asset to a geopolitical rival, a strategic blunder that doomed its EV sector's long-term competitiveness. As China's strategic plan unfolded step by step, Tesla turned into a free industry tutor for every domestic Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer. In merely 8 years, the entire market landscape flipped drastically. The once untouchable American tech giant now faces fierce, comprehensive defeat at the hands of homegrown Chinese automakers. Not long ago, Tesla stood as the global benchmark for premium electric mobility, synonymous with cutting-edge smart technology. Chinese car companies could only follow its design concepts and play catch-up. Today, every major domestic EV brand has thoroughly mastered Tesla's core operational logic, then refined its technology to adapt perfectly to China's complex road conditions and diverse consumer demands. In battery technology, BYD's Blade Battery and CATL's Kirin Battery surpass Tesla's in-house battery solutions in safety, cruising range and stability, successfully resolving the persistent fire risks that have plagued Tesla vehicles for years. In autonomous driving systems, Huawei ADS, Xpeng XNGP, and Li Auto's intelligent cockpit functions deliver far more practical performance on China's crowded urban roads than Tesla's half-baked FSD software, which is tailored primarily for American highway scenarios. Chinese manufacturers have also adopted and optimized Tesla's gigacasting technology, slashing production costs while boosting overall vehicle build quality. Nowadays, Tesla retains little competitive edge aside from its accumulated global brand reputation. It cannot compete with Chinese brands on pricing, interior configurations, in-car intelligent experience, or after-sales service quality. The Chinese new energy vehicle industry has completed the full journey from following global leaders to running alongside them, and finally taking the lead worldwide. This is the power of China's long-range industrial strategy. Study an opponent's strengths using the opponent's own resources, then surpass its upper limits entirely. The ongoing rivalry between Tesla and China's domestic EV industry is fundamentally a clash between two entirely different development philosophies. China's centralized, decades-long national strategic planning versus America's fragmented, profit-obsessed capitalist system. The gap in long-term vision between the two nations could not be more evident. Every major industrial decision made in the United States is tied to short-term corporate earnings and shareholder returns. U.S. businesses pursue quick profits rather than nurturing complete industrial chains or cultivating homegrown talent pools over decades. Consequently, the American electric vehicle sector relies solely on Tesla as a standalone enterprise, with no robust supporting industrial cluster, abundant upstream suppliers, or systematic talent training mechanisms. Beneath its shiny surface, America's EV industry is hollow and fragile. China's development roadmap, by contrast, is always formulated with a 10 to 20-year timeline in mind. Offering favorable policies to Tesla was never an act of compromise or weakness. It was calculated strategic forbearance. Opening its domestic consumer market was a tactical move to foster a comprehensive national new energy industrial ecosystem. Through welcoming one flagship foreign automaker, China activated a trillion-yuan industrial chain, cultivated massive professional technical talent teams, and incubated hundreds of competitive local auto component suppliers. America plays a short-term capital game chasing immediate revenue. China orchestrates a grand industrial blueprint striving for global industrial discourse power in the future. While U.S. investors celebrated Tesla's quarterly profit gains year after year, China quietly constructed the world's largest, most complete and cost-competitive electric vehicle industrial system. This capability to coordinate national resources and advance step-by-step toward long-term national goals is an inherent advantage that America's decentralized capitalist system can never replicate. The final result of this prolonged industrial contest is now crystal clear. Tesla has ended up merely serving as a stepping stone for China's unprecedented EV rise. Year after year, Tesla's market share within China keeps shrinking, continuously overtaken by BYD, Geely, Huawei-backed car brands, and countless other domestic EV makers. Its public reputation declines steadily, and meaningful technological innovation has largely stagnated. Today, the automaker's primary role is no longer harvesting profits from Chinese consumers. Instead, it continues to feed China's domestic supply chain, act as a permanent benchmark for local automakers to benchmark against, and help China consolidate its overall advantage in the global electric vehicle marketplace. 8 years ago, China had barely any mature new energy vehicle industry to speak of. Today, the country ranks first globally in EV annual production, annual sales, industrial chain completeness, and technological iteration speed, firmly holding the reins of the future global electric vehicle industry. Through what initially appeared to be generous market opening and foreign investment incentives, China absorbed America's flagship EV technology, upgraded it independently, and achieved extraordinary industrial leapfrogging at minimal cost. This embodies the profound long-term strategic wisdom of China. Apparent concessions and market openness mask total overall control. Inviting a powerful competitor into the domestic market ultimately leads to digesting, learning from, and surpassing that competitor. The technological hegemony and industrial advantages the United States has boasted about for decades have proven vulnerable against China's patient, well-laid national strategy. Do you think China's long-term industrial planning has outmatched America's short-sighted capital model? Share your thoughts down in the comments section below.